Good evening, MEA viewers. Welcome to this edition of Spotlight. I am your host, Zeina, Baydoun. Tonight we have a really special guest from the University of Detroit Mercy, Dr. Jocelyn Boryczka, who is the Dean of the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. Welcome, Dr. Jocelyn. It's so great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me today. Great to be here.
Thank you. And Dr. Boryczka, I would love for you to start by telling our viewers a little bit about your journey back to Detroit and into this amazing position at the university. And then we'll get into all of the exciting things happening at your college.
Fantastic. So I am a native Detroiter, which is just fabulous. It's fabulous to be back in my favorite city in the United States. And but I spent quite a bit of time on the East Coast, and I did my graduate work there at the City University of New York, their graduate center. Then I was teaching at Queens College, which was wonderful. But I was really interested in being at a Jesuit or a religious-based institution. And I took a position at Fairfield University in Fairfield, Connecticut, which is a Jesuit university. And that is one of the orders of Catholicism. So I landed that job, and I started as a visiting instructor. And by the time I left that institution, I was a vice provost. So it was a great time. I was there for 19 years. I fell in love with the Jesuit tradition, with its approach to education that really focuses on cura personalis, meaning the education of the body, the mind, and the spirit.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I thought, right? And it's just that complete wholeness. So you get a great education, but you also leave a different kind of person. Somebody who really has compassion for your fellow human beings and an embrace of all their rich diversity. But after COVID, we started thinking about myself and my partner in life, my husband. We thought, we kind of want to return back to Detroit. And I wanted to stay in higher education. So the position at Detroit Mercy opened up. And I applied, and I'm grateful that I got the position as Dean of the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. Although it had a different name at that point, which we can talk about. And I started in August of 2022. I'm starting my fourth year, actually halfway through.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank
and,
you.
You know, what an amazing journey back home. And I know we talked before this interview. I also lived in New York City and ended up finding my way back to Detroit just before COVID. And it's a great feeling to be home.
Yes.
It's nice to spend time elsewhere and sort of bring that back to, back to your hometown. So the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences is a pretty new college by name, even though a lot of the great programs and degrees that were available under the old name are still in existence. Yes. But tell us a little bit about what sparked that change and where are we today, and help us understand a little bit about what the college offers potential students.
Thank you so much. We were the College of Liberal Arts and Education, and we ended up deciding that the education program was not a fit for the university at that period of time. This happened before I got there. So it was officially closed by the state in December of 2023. So we knew that we had to change the name to better reflect who we were. We began a great collaborative process that brought our faculty, our students, alumni, community members into a conversation about who we are, what do we serve, and in what ways will we serve into the future. So we started about a year-long process, and ultimately, after a vote, of course, we decided on the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. This was a shift for us from liberal arts in order to better describe to prospective parents and their students, their young people, what exactly the liberal arts is. liberal arts really means free thinking, but a lot of folks don't know that, and that's very broad. So humanities talks about human beings, arts is clearly the arts, and then the social sciences are ways in which we study how humans live together. But at the bottom, it's all about studying human beings and human relationships, which is why it makes programs in my college, there are 13 of them, that span from everything from cybersecurity and information systems to performing arts to counseling and addiction studies and social work. So we run the full gambit in our college, and we are able in the college then to deliver the core curriculum to the rest of the students that are in our undergraduate program. That means that students, whether they're studying engineering, science, whatever they're studying, are going to take those courses, and that situates them perfectly to be extremely successful in the current marketplace.
That's great. That's great. And I know I shared with you that I am a product of a humanities, liberal arts education, you know, having completed my undergraduate degree in philosophy and English in preparation for law school. So I can speak from a very, you know, personal place, how much that, you know, foundation in the humanities, how important it is, I think, for a young person as they're growing, regardless of what they end up pursuing as their professional degree or their profession, just how important that is to really round out and create well-rounded graduates. That's
Absolutely. Great. So we think about critical analysis, problem solving, and communication.
Sure.
Those are things that people with a liberal arts background are really excellent at, and you're a great exemplar of it, so wonderful. But those are also pathways, as you talked about philosophy and English, those are pathways to other professional careers. It could be that you stay within writing, so it may be that you do technical writing. Now we have young people who are podcasters and influencers, and those are jobs. So that's wonderful. Our communication studies program can meet that need. But communication, of course, is central to everything that we do. And written and verbal communication is key. So we have that, but we also have our students, they're learning about history and culture and languages, but also how do you look at something and consider the social, the economic, and the political aspects of any question. So some of our alumni who were focused on finance and economics and worked for General Motors will say they got the big job, the vice presidency, because they could think bigger and they could really take their training and analyze the world with that training. And that made them very, very excellent candidates for these positions.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know I shared what I saw in my work as a consultant, you know, with some of the biggest technology companies on the West Coast, Silicon Valley and beyond, how important it was for those recruiters to start thinking about bringing in folks with a strong humanities, liberal arts foundation, because too many engineer science brains, you know, in a workplace with not enough of that humanities, you know, liberal arts perspective doesn't create too much of a balanced, you know, team or workforce. So they started to think about recruiting more intentionally and making sure they're bringing folks with that more expansive, you know, education and approach. And like you said, it's those communication skills. It's being able to sort of see the connections between things and to think critically and solve human problems.
That is
really
at
well.
the root of it,
Oh, yeah.
right? So I have found myself in spaces. We have a cybersecurity and information systems program, and it was established in 2004. It has been recognized by Homeland Security.
Wow.
It is one of the best and one of the first that had that designation. So it's been around for quite some time. And we've leveraged that legacy to looking to the future. As we all know, AI, now we're thinking about quantum computing. Other folks are talking about world systems. There's just amazing what has happened. But as most folks know, as we were talking about our iPhones, right, and the change, right, to the new system, things change quickly. So software changes quickly every day. And what we hear from employers and others is that we can teach our employees what they need to know about software, but we can't teach them how to think critically, how to problem solve, and how to be great communicators. You can be brilliant, but if you can't share those ideas, then it's difficult to implement them in the world.
Oh, absolutely. And I really think that, cybersecurity, AI, those disciplines, which obviously we know are going to be in very high demand. And a lot of us are talking about the ethics, involved, and thinking about producing stellar graduates in these disciplines who also have that human component, really in focus, and are thinking not just about, the technology or the AI, but the impact on people, and making sure that we are moving ethically and in a way that serves humanity and the world in the right ways. I think those are the people we want in those jobs, that's for sure.
Right, spoken like a true philosophy major. Those ethical questions are really at the core, and at our university, that is something that we want all of our graduates to leave with, is that ethical training, understanding. They need to take religious studies and philosophy. Our students that are in the healthcare professions all take healthcare ethics. That's delivered by our philosophy and religious studies programs. So they're really leaving with that moral compass. How do you make ethical decisions? How do you weigh those things? That's so, so critical to being an excellent citizen of the world and citizen of your local communities.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think when I think about the Tri-County area, here in Metro Detroit, we do have a large Middle Eastern community. We have a large Hispanic community. And I think faith and religion figure pretty centrally in life, here in Southeast Michigan. And whether our Middle Eastern viewers who are watching, and we know a lot of them, like to pursue careers in law, medicine, healthcare, engineering, thinking about the well-rounded, approach of UD Mercy, making sure that every single graduate has this, foundation in all of the things that you just mentioned, I think makes you a better doctor, a better lawyer, a better engineer, and just really rounds out, just makes you more well-rounded. And are able to do it better.
I could not agree more. And even thinking about the pre-law program that is in the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. But we also have pre-law programs in business administration, engineering, and science. And so those are wonderful 6-year accelerated programs. Basically, students come to University of Detroit Mercy as undergraduates. They take 3 years of coursework. And in that third year, they're applying to law school.
Wow.
So in what would be year 4 in a traditional undergraduate, they're in law school. They have to meet the benchmarks. We, of course, have a relationship with our outstanding University of Detroit Mercy Law School, which is in downtown Detroit on the riverfront, as you likely know. But those students apply to other schools as well and really have excellent training. They are prepared to do that. And then they're prepared to be basically, 20, 21 years old and in a law class and a law environment that, as you know, can be really competitive.
Oh, yeah.
But our program at Detroit Mercy, like our university, really embraces community and belonging as opposed to some of those more competitive situations.
Wow, that is amazing. That is a really cool accelerated program that I think a lot of people in this community would be really interested in learning about. So we will make sure that the website for the school and for these programs is something that we will share with folks. Now, zooming out a bit and thinking about UDM and all of the exciting things happening at Live 6. I love the way you put that. So Livernois and 6 Mile. Can you talk to us a little bit about the the campus, the experience, student life at UDM.
Student life there has become so invigorated. My husband actually grew up in the neighborhood,
Nice.
right there on Oak Drive and 7 Mile. So there's a way in which my family has had this very, very deep connection. My father went to the University of Detroit Jesuit back in the day. And so I've had a lifetime of connection to that space. It is amazing what is happening there, not only along the Fashion Avenue, right on Livernois, right, and very celebrated. Now it's moving down past 6 Mile. So there are local businesses. We have Detroit Sip. There's the Detroit Pizza Bar that's right there. But very excitedly, we have a brand new state-of-the-art Detroit Mercy Black Box Theater. We are thrilled to bring the only permanent theater in that neighborhood to the community. And we see it as an arts and culture hub, not only for our campus, where students will be able to do spoken word, they might do fashion shows, they can do a whole range of things in that space that really invigorates their time on campus. We also have our Detroit Mercy Theater Company, and that is related to our Performing Arts Department. They host 3 different shows throughout the year. These are main stage productions. Now will be in our Black Box Theater. We had our first show that happened in November. It was Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. It was fantastic. We had a ribbon cutting and a grand opening and people from the community. It was just fabulous. The show was great, very lively, very vibrant, very funny. And what we saw was an enlivening of the community in that space. It was absolutely intoxicating. But here's something I have to tell you. Although this is our first permanent theater on our campus, it is not the first time we've been doing theater. So we were downtown Detroit at the YMCA, the Bowles Black Box Theater, for a number of years. And that meant that we had to break down sets and take them down there, and U-Hauls and transportation issues and parking situations, all that good stuff. So now that we have our permanent home, we are back on campus, but we've been doing theater at UDM since 1887.
Wow.
So we are, and we're getting ready to celebrate our 150th anniversary next year at the university. With that, the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences was established with the university, which shows the centrality of that kind of education we've been talking about to the institution itself. But we've been doing theater that long as well. And in that way, we are going to be having a wonderful year of celebration coming up next year. And we have our next show will be in February.
Oh, that is so exciting. And really bringing that arts in jazz to life with the Black Box Theater. I love the extension to the community for potentially being able to use that space to bring all of the talent, here in Detroit to those stages. And I myself cannot wait to check it out.
We can't wait to have you. It'll be absolutely a blast. The next show is Poor Clare. It is about St. Clare of Assisi. She was a person during the medieval times who came from, great wealth and was moved by radical compassion to really give up that status in society in order to serve those who have so much less. And that is one of the things at Detroit Mercy that we really embrace. Service to those who are more vulnerable, an embrace of social justice, the rich diversity of our communities that is brought together by our shared belief systems.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And, such an important theme, I think, given everything that is happening in the world and even locally, definitely something we want to encourage and inspire people to do more of. So we'll definitely make sure that our viewers know when that's happening, how to potentially get tickets, and hopefully we'll be able to share all of that information with them. And in thinking about the season that we are in, so we are almost at the holidays here, anything happening on campus that folks in the community could take advantage of, whether it is any open houses coming up in the future, anything that folks should know about?
Absolutely. So, of course, our students just finished finals on Friday. Grades were turned in.
Congrats to them.
Yesterday.
Yes.
They are hopefully relaxing and taking some downtime. We will be back open in January when we will be welcoming students again to campus. We'll be having accepted students days, but people are welcome to come and visit campus at any time. Our admissions office is welcome for prospective students. If people would like to come and see the theater, we're happy to host them there. And we're looking forward this coming winter semester to things like the Titan Winterfest. So it's one of those traditional winter blasts where there's horseback and there's a great basketball game and a chili cook-off. So all those wonderful winter blast events will happen in February. February, of course, is Black History Month, so we have a series of great events in order to recognize that diversity of our community. And we have a number of different interfaith events, international events, and a welcoming of all in our community and those in the surrounding areas.
That is wonderful. It sounds like checking out the University of Detroit Mercy at Live 6 in Jan and Feb is going to be the place to be.
It's the place to be.
That's it.
I have to say.
That's it.
Yes.
And Doctor, we would love if there is a message that you want to give to the community, whether it is about the college, UDM in general, this really exciting theater that has launched. We'd love to have you give them that message.
I wish all of you a most peaceful time during the holiday season. University of Detroit Mercy is a wonderful place that embraces and cultivates inclusive communities of belonging that celebrate the rich diversity of humanity. We would love to have you come on campus, have a visit, check out a show. See you soon.
Thank you, MEA viewers. That was our interview with Dr. Jocelyn Boryczka, the Dean of the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences at the University of Detroit Mercy. Make sure you check it out.